Okay, so let's review our cosine law. Cosine we use when we're given three sides or two sides and the angle in the middle of those two sides, so the contained angle. So the first example is one of those. It's where you have the two sides and then the angle that's in between those two sides, the contained angle. Okay, and here you want to find side D. So if you want, you can go ahead and relabel this triangle. Some students like doing that. So if you wanted to go ahead and relabel it, you can. I'm not going to relabel it for my purposes, but you could relabel it if you want. Okay, so you want to find D. So the formula would be D squared is equal to F squared. Oops, let me just. F squared plus E squared minus 2F times E cos D. Okay, so notice here, that side D and angle D. Okay, it's always going to work like that. Okay, so let's plug in what we know. Okay, so 18 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 18 times 12 cos 58. Okay, so go ahead and put that in your calculator. Be careful when you're inputting this because it is a long equation. So just be careful with the squares and the pluses and the minuses. Okay. And you'll end up with D squared is 239.07. Now we're almost at our answer, but not quite there. That is D squared. What we need is actually D. So to get D, you're going to take the square root of 239.07. And when you do, you'll find that D is equal to 15.5. I think I'm centimeters. Okay, so that's finding a side. Now let's review finding an angle. Okay, so in this case, we have a triangle and we're given all three sides and you want to find angle P. Again, you could go ahead and relabel this triangle if you find that an easier way. So if you wanted to relabel it, you could. Okay. So the formula is cos A is equal to B squared plus C squared minus A squared all over 2 times B times C. Okay, so now we're just going to plug in what we know. So cos C is equal to 26 squared plus 18 squared minus 20 squared all over 2 times 26 times 18. Okay, so go ahead and put that in your calculator or in decimal, whichever you prefer. And you're going to get a decimal. Okay, so 0.641. Okay, I know it's longer than that, but I'm just going to write down those numbers for now. Okay, and then if you're using decimal, you're going to go to the tab that says a function tab, and you're going to do the inverse because we want angle C. So we got to do the inverse of cos C. So if you do the inverse, it'll give you the angle. So the inverse of cos inverse of 0.641 will give you the angle of 50.1 degrees. Okay, so just be careful when you input it in decimal that it looks exactly like our equation does on the paper. Okay, there's, the squares and the minuses, so just be careful when you input that you input it correctly. Okay, and there you have it.